Kamut's a little bit harder to grind, so sometimes I have Paul or one of the boys do it because it's really heavy duty. This is our hand crank Marga Molina oatmeal maker. It makes really good Kamut. If you look in there, you can see it comes out to a consistency that's just a little bit beyond flour in its coarseness, and it makes great hot cereal. In this quart of water, which is almost boiling, I've put about a half teaspoon of golden flax seeds. I like the golden ones because they taste really buttery. And I'm going to add in 1 whole stick of cinnamon, and then this lovely Kamut cereal that Paul ground up for me just now. It's exactly a cup. And I like to do 4 cups of water to 1 cup of cereal ratio with my hot cereals. I think it gets a little bit too dry when you try to do less than that. And what I let it do is hard boil for about 10 minutes on a medium setting, and then sometimes I just turn the heat off and just let it sit until the kids eat it. But that seems to work really well, 4 cups of water to 1 cup of grain.
I told you, you look at me how you stand with me now, you'd be here with me now.
Empty bowl. Thank you. I'm making some Kamut blueberry muffins, some hot Kamut cereal, and I'll be putting a loaf of Kamut bread in the bread machine. Right now I'm grinding the grains. Just to illustrate how quickly everything goes in the bread machine, especially once you have it all laid out, 1 1/3 cups of water, about a tablespoon of olive oil. You need some sort of sweetener. I like to use agave nectar. Put in about a tablespoon of that. About 2 teaspoons of yeast. 1 cup of whole Kamut flour. 1 teaspoon of salt. And 2 full cups of just regular white all-purpose flour. And this makes an incredible loaf of bread. It's not 100% whole grain, but it's got enough good stuff in it that I feel really good serving it to my family. So it's about 3 1/3 cups of flour. Here in my seed mill, I have some regular brown flaxseed that I'm going to grind up, and I'm going to add it to this little bit of milk here and let it soak for a sec, and then it will go into the muffin dough. The hot cereal is going great. Over here in the bread machine, the loaf of bread is mixing. It's going to take about 3 hours to get it done. And I'm now ready to mix up my muffins. In this bowl I put in 1 cup of fresh ground Kamut with a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking powder and just a teaspoon of baking soda and just a pinch of baking powder. I'm going to add another 2nd cup of Kamut flour and 2 full cups of just regular white sugar, and then 2 cups of just regular white flour, and a half and half mix of whole wheat to white flour. Seems to work really good with muffins. This will be enough to make 2 full pans of muffins. And then to this I'm going to add some wet ingredients. I've got a cup of milk, 3 eggs, and about a 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I've got this humongous bag of berries from Costco that I'm going to add into half of them. Ben doesn't like berries in his muffins, so I'll make half of them plain, but the other half I'll add the berries in, and I'll show you those in just a sec. When you're learning to make muffins, sometimes it's a little bit challenging to figure out how thick the dough should be, and when I put that flax in the milk, it just made it too liquidy. So you can tell it's really dripping off the spoon easily. That is too thin. So I'm going to add some flour to this, and in learning how to bake stuff that people will eat, you know, this is just part of the deal. You just have to learn how to mix it properly. So I just put in another cup of white flour to kind of thicken it up a little bit, and I can tell already this is going to be perfect. So the recipe just went from 4 cups of flour to 5, and with that flax, like I said, it was probably half a cup of milk, so that's why I had to add more flour. But this is just a thing that it takes a little bit of a learning curve when you're learning how to bake, but once you figure out how thick dough should be, it makes your baking just kind of start to pop. So stick with it. Don't give up if you have a disaster. I've had about 5 million disasters over my baking career, so this is just part of the deal. I sprinkled a teaspoon of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon into the fruit and put probably a good half a cup of fruit on each muffin. These are those supersized muffins. And then you put another cap of dough over the top of it. Just kind of finish it off. And I'll finish that and get them in the oven. The plain ones for Ben are going pretty good. They've been going for about 10 minutes. Hot cereal's here. Kids are eating it out at the table. And the bread's going. It's got about 3 more hours. I've been working for about a half an hour. And it has taken me longer to do this. Usually it only takes 20 minutes to make muffins, bread, and hot cereal, but because I've been taping, it's been taking a little bit longer.
Hey! Hey! What I like about
Okay, these fruity muffins need to go for quite a while, almost 40 minutes. I'm going to go probably 35 and then check them. The plain muffins are done. These are Ben's muffins with no fruit. These ones are going to go in on the bottom rack, and I have a pizza stone down there, which really helps them not to get burned. As I said, that's going to go for 35 minutes. The bread's still going pretty good. Got 2 hours and 30 minutes, and the hot cereal is being gradually eaten. Quite often, even with this just one cup of Kamut, we'll have leftovers. So I'll stick it in the fridge in a covered container, and this is a great reheat food. And if we don't eat it as a hot cereal, quite often I'll just add it to muffins or bread or any other grain-based thing. Sometimes I'll even add it to spaghetti sauce, just to thicken it up a little bit. But that's my morning effort with grains. As I said, we ground up 4 cups of Kamut, and from it made 2 pans of muffins, a cup of the hot cereal, and the bread. And that's all of the baking I'm going to do today, and it's only 7:30 in the morning, so you can get a lot done. You're all ready to go, have the ingredients on hand, and it's a great breakfast for your family.